All right, we're back. It's Monday evening. It's weather for Weather Geeks time. It's the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast. Hope you had a good weekend. Our weather certainly took a turn for the worse today. It was a damp and chilly day out there today. We had a little bit of light rain and drizzle, especially this morning and through the first couple of hours of this afternoon. That rain has faded away this evening, and rainfall amounts are pretty modest with this. Generally, a tenth of an inch as an average, a few higher amounts out there, but again, the rainfall totals were not a real big deal. It was just kind of the nuisance variety rain that you get more often during the cold weather season. We oftentimes don't see a day like this, of course, in the middle of summer when precipitation tends to be a little more hit or miss and kind of focused towards the afternoon. As we get into the chillier months, we have days like this occasionally where we have these waves of light rain and drizzle. Even when the radar is quiet sometimes, there's a fine little mist or drizzle trying to fall. Now this is thankfully ending this evening. The back edge of the clouds is off to the north and west. This clearing line is what we'll be watching this evening, and the faster the sky clears tonight, the colder it can get. And this should end up being our coldest night of the season so far. Where the sky has already cleared, it's already dropping into the 30s in parts of Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan this evening. It's down to 45 in Detroit as of about 7:10 this evening. And this is what people in Texas call a blue norther. This is a cold front that's dropped all the way down into the Gulf Coast, and Dallas had a remarkably cold day for Dallas today, with temperatures staying in the mid-40s this afternoon. So very, very chilly stuff for parts of Texas during the course of the day today. Back here at home, as you were alerted to on your Storm Tracker 21 app earlier on today, some freeze warnings and frost advisories have been issued. Freeze warning covers Mahoning and Columbiana and points west. Frost advisory for Lawrence County on south and southwest into southeast Ohio. Now, even if your location is not under one of these warnings or advisories, it's going to be a cold night tonight. The reason the Weather Service did not issue the advisory or the warning for Mercer County and Trumbull County, there may be some lake-enhanced clouds coming in tonight, and that may keep temperatures from dropping as low as they could in areas north of I-80. But just as a reminder, as we get into this time of the year, we can have frost even when it's a few degrees, even several degrees above freezing technically. We measure the air temperature not right on the ground. It's a few feet above the ground. Well, all it takes sometimes is a few feet to make the difference between a couple of degrees, and the air temperature up a few feet above the ground can be a few degrees higher than what the ground temperature actually is. So you can get some frost formation even when the air temperature is technically even 35, 36, 37 degrees. A freeze is when not only is the temperature at or below freezing up here where we measure it a few feet above the ground, but of course down at ground level as well. I don't think we're in for a hard freeze anywhere tonight. What I mean by a hard freeze is temperatures 30 or below for a few hours. I don't think we're going to see that. But we will see temperatures flirting with freezing, I think, before the night is through. I think there'll be a lot of 33s and 34s on the temperature map tomorrow morning. Well, when we look back at the last 10 years and we look at when the first 32-degree reading of the fall season occurred, last year it was pretty late. Halloween was our first 32-degree reading of the season last year. Notice earlier years on this list, it was more towards the middle of October. The middle of October is actually our 30-year average. October 13th is our 30-year average for the first freeze of the season at the Youngstown Warren Airport. Now, of course, the Youngstown Warren Airport's in Trumbull County, which tends to be a cloudier place than some other places, depending on the wind direction. And so your mileage can vary a little bit depending on your location as to the average date of your first freeze. And again, I think tonight your chances of a 32-degree reading are a little bit higher away from I-80 to the south, down towards the 224 corridor, and then probably especially down into Columbiana County. That should be our clearest location tonight. So a place like Lisbon and Rogers and East Palestine, down towards Calcutta, Wellsville, East Liverpool. Some places may see that 32, 33-degree mark later on tonight. So the sky clears tonight. We'll have a good deal of sunshine, I think, for tomorrow. Maybe some late-day high clouds, but that should be about it. Then another disturbance drops in through the lakes on Wednesday, sparking up some showers with it on Wednesday. I don't think it's a washout, but there'll be some chilly showers around. And this is going to be a raw day Wednesday. I've got 47 for a high in the forecast for Wednesday, and with a gusty breeze, which I think will be noticeable, we'll be talking wind chills on Wednesday. It's going to feel more like 40 rather than 47 degrees Wednesday afternoon. A better day coming up on Thursday. It's still going to be chilly, but it will be brighter and probably not as windy on Thursday. All right, this was the foliage forecast as of last week. I'll do an update on this evening, an updated map, but I think we could probably expand the moderate color down into more of Pennsylvania, perhaps even a few patches of Ohio, and definitely high colors now getting into more of Michigan and more of New England as well, and the past peak colors definitely encroaching upon parts of northern New England as well, even down into parts of central New York State. Let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the weekend and beyond. Let me bring up my model here. This is the GFS for this weekend, and what I want to show you here is a couple of things. We have another disturbance heading our way late Friday into Friday night, probably a couple of showers with that. Then over the weekend, a stronger cold front on Saturday. This is going to be a blustery day Saturday, maybe kind of like Wednesday will be. Gusty wind, showers around, chilly temperatures. And behind this front, look what the GFS does Saturday night and Sunday morning. Yes, that's blue. The GFS would suggest there's scattered flurries and snow showers for Sunday morning. I can't rule this idea out. I wouldn't take this as the gospel at this point, but I can't rule out the idea that there's a couple of snowflakes seen on Sunday morning. I doubt it would accumulate or amount to much, but I can't rule it out. So that's something to watch out for the weekend. Beyond that, there's really no let up in sight through the end of October to this chillier than average pattern. This is just a big time change compared to where we've been for the last 4 to 5 months. Notice the cool anomalies are stuck over the eastern U.S. for just about the next 2 weeks, so taking us all the way through the end of the month. So I don't think we're going to see much of a respite here anytime real soon. Just as a reminder of the definition of Indian summer, as it's oftentimes referred to, that's the first warm period after we've had our first frost/freeze of the season. So under the assumption most locations have that this week, any warmth that we see later in the season would technically be Indian summer. But I don't think it's going to happen through the end of October. It looks pretty chilly during the last stages of the month. That's it for tonight's weather for Weather Geeks. I'll have another version of this video with a full update on the forecast for the short range and the long range coming up tomorrow evening, same time, same place.